Once upon a time, in a valley hidden among misty mountains and crystalline waterfalls, there was an enchanted garden called the Garden of Blooming Hearts. This was no ordinary garden. Instead of roses and tulips, it grew flowers that represented people's hearts. Each flower was unique, with petals of different shapes, colours and sizes, and each shone with its own light, reflecting the personality and feelings of its owner. In the heart of the garden lived two inseparable friends, Iris and Viola. Iris had a slender flower with thin petals of an intense blue like the night sky, studded with stars. Viola, on the other hand, possessed a round and full flower of a warm and bright yellow like the midday sun. Their flowers grew close together, intertwining their colours in a harmonious dance. One day, a thick fog, carried by a freezing wind from the mountains, enveloped the valley. This fog was not a simple mist. It was a magical fog, imbued with sadness and melancholy, which fed on the joy and vitality of hearts. The flowers began to fade, losing their vibrancy and colour. Iris's flower, in particular, began to bend in on itself, becoming opaque and dull. Viola, seeing her friend suffer, became extremely worried. She tried to stay close to her, but the fog was so dense that she could barely see her flower. She tried to talk to her, to comfort her, but her words seemed to get lost in the muffled silence. An old sage, a guardian of the garden, who knew all its secrets, suddenly appeared. He explained to Viola that the fog was fueled by the moon's tears, drops of sadness that the moon shed when it saw suffering in the world. To dispel the fog, an act of pure love and sacrifice was needed. Viola, without hesitation, decided to act. She remembered a legend that told of a magical melody capable of touching the moon's heart and drying its tears. This melody had been passed down from generation to generation in her family, but it was almost forgotten. The women filed out of the palace court and hurried to the field. With great effort, Viola began to sing. Her voice, initially trembling, gradually became more confident and powerful. The melody, sweet and melancholic, spread through the garden, reaching the mountain peaks and touching the moon's heart. As Viola sang, a silvery light began to filter through the fog. These were the moon's tears, transforming into rays of hope. Iris's flower slowly began to rise again, regaining its intense blue colour. But something extraordinary happened. As she sang for her friend, Viola's own flower also began to shine, with an even more intense light, emanating a warmth that spread throughout the garden. The fog began to dissipate, revealing a starry sky and a full moon that smiled benevolently. The moon's tears had turned into a rain of silvery petals that illuminated the garden. The flowers, reinvigorated, shone more than ever, and the air was pervaded by a sweet and intoxicating scent. The old sage smiled at Violet and said, "You have shown the true meaning of friendship. Your love and sacrifice not only saved your friend, but also strengthened your bond and illuminated the entire garden." From that day on, the Garden of Blooming Hearts became an even more special place, a symbol of true and lasting friendship, where hearts support each other, even in the deepest adversities. And the legend of the moon's tears became a reminder to everyone that love and sacrifice are the most powerful forces in the universe.